Hello everyone, you are on the Planet Earth channel. Today we will talk about ants. Someone might say, what's interesting? An ant, a small bug, that's all. But if you look closely and paid a little attention, you can dive into a new world. And this world is unique, and it's an ant world. These amazing insects have existed on the planet since the time of dinosaurs.
Currently, over 14,000 ant species are known, and many more have yet to be discovered and counted by scientists.
Their habitat is the entire world, with the exception of some islands and Antarctica. The number of ants is enormous, as they are the most widespread insect on the planet. Ants can form symbiosis with plants or other insects, lift weights several dozen times their own,
and also accelerate up to 8 centimeters per second, which is about 50 kilometers per hour by human standards.
These little ones are also capable of learning by observing others, hearing with their legs, and distinguishing each other by scent.
And each colony has its own. Yes, ants have colonies, and humans with their megacities are far from them. And we will learn much more interesting information about these insects here and now. Let's go. The ant family belongs to the order Hymenoptera, which also includes sawflies, bees, and wasps. We talked about bees. Wasps will definitely be covered, and we will definitely deal with sawflies, which most likely no one knows about. Today we have Formicidae as guests. In Latin, this is the ant family. Where does the name ant come from? According to one version, the word muravi came from the Old Slavic muravi. Back then, lush meadow grass was called murava.
And in the murava, many of these little ones ran around. What do you call them? Right? Muravishki.
There are other versions of the origin, but I like this one more. And be sure to write your versions in the comments. And we move on. And our task is to understand the body structure of an ant, to better understand these amazing insects. The external structure of an ant looks like this. An abdomen, sometimes with a sting, and sometimes without it. It connects to the thorax via a petiole, consisting of the prothorax, mesothorax, and metathorax, to which the head and legs are attached. On the head are simple eyes for determining illumination and tilt plane, as well as complex compound eyes. Flagella, antennae, mandibles, also known as jaws, and the clypeus, or faceplate. This is the anterior upper part of the insect's head.
Legs consist of a tarsus with 2 claws and an adhesive pad for gripping smooth surfaces.
Spurs for cleaning antennae, tibiae, femurs, and also the trochanter. The entire body is covered with chitinous protection, giving it strength. Despite their small size, the internal structure of an ant is quite functional.
The brain is located in the head, connected to the body by a nervous system, including thoracic and abdominal ganglia.
These are clusters of nerve cells. Through the antennae, information about smells and tastes, as well as object texture, enters the brain.
Eyes vary among species. They can see several meters, or be completely blind, depending on the insect's habitat.
The digestive system consists of mandibles, which grasp and chew food, a stomach, intestine, and a crop, where liquid digested food is stored.
The crop, a blind appendage of the esophagus, can greatly swell in many ants.
And it can be called the social stomach of ants. Food stored in it is distributed among the entire nest population. It is through it that, if necessary, insects can feed each other using their crops. A feature of the ant's structure is a developed endocrine system. The Dufour's gland secretes pheromone markers for tracking the insect's movement. The mandibular gland secretes alarm pheromones. The metapleural gland produces antibiotics.
The postpharyngeal gland produces food for feeding larvae, and the venom gland serves as a means of defense or attack.
Tape. Ants do not have a circulatory system or a heart in the direct sense. It is replaced by a dorsal vessel, which distributes colorless hemolymph throughout the body, ensuring metabolic processes in the organism. And as we see, the structure of ants is quite complex. Their organism is created to fully correspond to living conditions, to be able to move quickly over long distances, attack, defend, feed the brood, and also resist microbes and viruses. This is a perfect system that has been forming for millions of years, amazing and self-sufficient.
Ants belong to the insect type and are part of the arthropod group of invertebrates.
This means that the supporting function of the spine in an ant is performed by the external chitinous shell, or exoskeleton. But this is not the only unique feature of the ant body structure.
For example, respiration is arranged so interestingly that it deserves a separate story.
For a long time, myrmecologists, scientists who study ants, believed that ants breathe through micropores in the chitinous exoskeleton. But a recent discovery showed that the ant respiratory system is much more complex. The respiratory system of arthropods consists of a large number of spiracles and trachees, which are evenly distributed throughout the ant's body,
Making the chitinous exoskeleton one large, distributed lung. Spiracles are inlet openings for fresh air, which are thinner than a human hair and are located along the sides of the body.
The flow of fresh air into the ant's lungs is ensured by intense contraction of the abdominal muscles.
Hence the constant movements of the abdomen. They help the insect circulate air.
And this is just one ant. But ants are never alone. These insects live in large families,
which are preserved for several years.
Essentially, all ants in such a colony are relatives from a biological point of view, and socially it's a city whose population.
One could say that a parallel civilization is bustling and developing beneath our feet. To understand how ants live in an anthill, let's start from birth.
Once a year, males and females hatch from eggs, ready for reproduction.
They have wings, and they fly off for mating.
Males die after fulfilling their main purpose, reproduction. And females fly off in search of a place for a new colony.
Finding it, the female bites off her wings to get additional nutrients and begins to actively lay eggs.
At first, hungry times await her. She survives only on accumulated fat layers.
But then, when the first representatives of the offspring hatch, they begin to provide for her, or the larvae, with everything necessary. The ant queen mother mates only once. The sperm supply lasts her entire long, up to 20 years, life for reproduction. Males develop from unfertilized eggs and have a single set of chromosomes. Females have a double set.
In this situation, daughters become more closely related to each other than daughters are to their mother.
And despite the word ant being masculine, all worker ants are females.
Daughters of the queen mother, who cannot mate and remain unfertilized their entire lives. Ants, like humans, have social relationships and a hierarchy.
Each has a set of qualities: intelligence, aggressiveness, reaction speed, enterprise, ability to communicate with others.
Watch, listen, subscribe, like, and share this video with friends. This greatly helps promotion.
This was the Planet Earth channel.